Sorry kan nga nijatin one more housekeeping rules yang start. Nada karma kai flight moria mi depon. Na materai mi Myisha starting to interview. Emiu adora música que den binina que es la nada. Antio que te me agata tan barbarin. Matapai. I'm sorry. Before we start the pre-pageant interview, can we all ask all your phones to be flight mode? And when the girls take the stage, can we ask also for your silence, just for five minutes for each of the ladies. Thank you. Okay, and starting, it's 11 o'clock sharp. Mojaranya Kemi Memak, welcome to the Miss Nauru pre-pageant interview. Before we start, I will start us with a morning prayer. So let's bow our heads. Oh God, iting me noron, me atsenega maki, me kangawan, bless it to ne day, bless it me bining me rem toto to ne manera ne to kanan boy bin me. Bless it be John or John mina tota right day in the mara meaning me, but no more rantine me pageant. Bless it be them binega me reachin me ko, parnum remitine me pageant. Kangawan of corrida make the reme, ane kangang, me kangan yanega na me karngame Yesu Christo. Amen. Okay. Welcome again, beautiful women, men, young and old. Welcome to this Miss Nauru's first for 2024 Miss Nauru Eita Dabug pageant. Before we start, may I welcome Miss Nauru 2022. Oh, sorry. Yes, she will start the day and then we'll go on with the program. Miss Nauru 2022, Alexandra Picha, to say a welcoming address on behalf of WASDA and Meneng. Please give a round of applause.
Testing. Testing. God is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
God is good.
Amen. Mojaranya Kimime Mac, on behalf of Meneng and WASDA, I warmly welcome you all to this year's pre-pageant event. I'd like to acknowledge Deputy Minister Honorable Isabella De Gecko, the sponsors in attendance, the Taiwan Embassy, and Digicel for their support in making this pageant possible. I'd also like to acknowledge Nauru Media for their work thus far in this pageant and in previous pageants. A very warm welcome as well to the MPIP Secretary from Samoa, Christian Scanlon, Chichi, and Tracy Warren, as well as the live streaming providers from Sydney, Paula, Moimoi Latu, and Genevieve Latu. It takes a collective effort to breathe life into these events, and for that there is immense appreciation for you all. Today is a special day, the first judged event, my favorite event, the pre-pageant interview. I am so excited to hear all 7 presentations, and I'm proud to see 7 beautiful and intelligent women before me, so ready to speak on topics so prevalent in our lives in Nauru and in the Nauruan diaspora. It takes courage to be able to present and speak to an audience, especially when you're on your own up here. So I commend you all for your bravery and also your vulnerability. It seems like it was just yesterday I was sitting there waiting for my name to be called. I remember the nerves and willing my legs not to tremble underneath me as I was presenting. But be assured in your abilities because you all were chosen for a reason. And it is the faith that others have in you that will propel your confidence and push you forward. Ladies, remember, take deep breaths, calm your mind and heart, and do your best. God bless and all the best.
Thank you, Alessandra. Next, in our program, let me introduce you to our wonderful judges who have dedicated their time to be here with us, judging our beautiful 7 contestants. Let me introduce our first judge, Mrs. Mylynn Wera. This is where you clap. And Ms. Jovanka Kefas, Mrs. Berlin Jeremiah, Mrs. Clarissa Jeremiah, Mrs. Alamanda Lauti, and we have our alternative judge, Mrs. Yuri Yobo. Also, we have our auditors there, very serious faces. We have Jillian Semere and Mr. Naya. Now let me introduce you to the main beautiful people of this event. Our 7 contestants. Drum rolls, please, Chris. Yes, thank you. Our first contestant, Miss WENA, Kayla, Emiu. Can you just, so everyone can see you? Kayla Emiu, Miss WENA. Thank you. Contestant number 2, Miss Nauru Marine Port Authority, Rosita Rokobuli. Thank you. Contestant number 3, Miss Nauru Rehabilitation Corporation, Mylynn Jeremiah. Thank you. 4th contestant, Miss Nauru Tourism Corporation, Treannah Dabwibdo. There went. Contestant number 5, Miss Nauru Airlines Corporation, Chantelle Cain. Contestant number 6, Miss Menen Community, Nefraunze Teabuge. Last but not the least, contestant number 7, Miss Nauru Utilities Corporation's Myisha Tatum. Thank you, ladies. And let me introduce again our Miss Arweni. Our Miss Arweni, Miss Ozere, Miss Oceana Scotti or Ciara Scotti. I always pronounce her name wrongly. Ciara Scotti. That's Miss Arweni 2023. And also you've met Alessandra Picha. Everyone here knows me, right? I'm Tara, I'm the MOC, so listen to what I say. Thank you, ladies. Let's go on to our next program. So, we'll be starting off with the interviews. So our first one, let me call Miss Women Empowerment Nauru Association, Kayla Emiu, with sorry, I'm at the topic. What's your topic?
Education.
Sorry, education. So if we can ask a few minutes of your time to give Kayla the stage. Come here, Kayla. Okay, so when should she start now? when you're ready.
Saving our environment through education. Ekomoiro mo. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kayla Darling Emiu. I am proudly sponsored by Women Empowerment Nauru Association. And today, my topic is saving our environment through education. I will firstly provide a brief background about Nauru and its environment, and then I will share some of the challenges and issues faced. And lastly, I will discuss several ways in which these challenges can be addressed through education. Our environment is the surrounding or condition in which we live and operate. Nauru's environment is unique due to its isolation, natural landscape, and climate. Decades of mining has left 80% of the land unsuitable for residential and agricultural use, as well as ecological sustainability. We need to take care of our environment because this is our home, and it provides us our food and our sustenance. We need to be concerned for our environment even more so because land here is scarce and there is no other place for us to go. The problems that we currently face includes recovering from the impact of mining in Nauru, which has destroyed the natural landscape and its biodiversity. Where is that? Today, one of the major challenges is trying to gain public support for saving our environment. Our current generation seems to lack the understanding on the linkage between our environment and our history, and all of our forefathers had gone through to give us this land. Despite having some laws in place to protect our environment, planning for change has been ongoing for over a decade with little or slow progress. The general attitudes and expectations in society continue to prevent us from moving forward in unity and protect and save our environment. A solution is using education to drive behavioral changes through schools and communities. I believe it is not too late to try and reshape the attitudes and behaviors of our society. We were created to be social beings, and our behaviors can be learned and unlearned, cultivated with good practice and instructions. We can use education, training, on awareness in schools and communities as a catalyst for change. Firstly, we can begin by encouraging sponsors to support projects which can help to save our environment, to be implemented in our schools. For example, segregation of waste and the R initiative, which is reduce, reuse, recycle, and including agriculture and farming skills into the school curriculum. The Nauru Plastic Free Project, sponsored by Nori, initiated a waste segregation program in 3 schools. This project comes to an end this year and will begin the next phase to pilot the same concepts in households. However, we should not let this practice stop. We need to follow through and ensure that waste segregation bins and services are provided because it is taught in provided and continued in all the schools. This is a good practice for our young students because it is taught in the schools and it prepares them for doing the same at home. We can reduce the daily amount of plastic rubbish by ensuring the tuck shops and school caterers cease using single-use packaging for food and drinks, collecting and reusing water bottles for agricultural projects, crafts and other useful means. Recycling initiatives can include paper-making projects and decorative papers, greeting cards and notebooks for sale. Introduce agriculture and farming skills into the formal education curriculum from a young age. Since Nauruans are mostly raised to be fishermen and not really farmers, many of us lack the necessary skills to be able to successfully grow livestock and gardens. If each school student is required and taught to grow their own plants, they will be able to transfer these skills to their homes and their communities. Secondly, we can reach out to the communities to be part of the solution. Let's educate and empower parents by providing training on the same initiatives. In this way, they can help shape positive behaviors from the grassroots level. We need to encourage the youths as well, as they are the powerhouse of our nation, with the energy and ability to gain required skills and implement them, as well as to share to others. They too can be a beacon and driving force for behavioral changes in our society. At this point, our environmental issues and behavioral changes would be impossible to solve on our own, but with God, all things are possible. Nauru is a Christian-influenced country, and we value doing good by upholding the country's motto, which is God's will first. We as Christians need to work together and look after the blessings that God has provided us with and our ancestors with and our future generations to come, because this is our beautiful homeland, Nauru. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Treannah. Can you come to the stage again? You have to be questioned by the judges. So for each contestant, they'll be given a 5 minutes presentation. And when you hear the bell horns, it means your 5 minutes is up. And again, so now the floor will be taken by the judges.
Thank you, Ms. Women Empowering Nauru Association, for your presentation. You have identified that there's a lack of public support generally for saving the environment. My question will focus on schools. If you become the next Miss Nauru, how can you use this platform to promote saving our environment and protecting natural resources in schools? Thank you. If you want me to repeat it.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. If you become the next Miss Nauru, how can you use this platform to promote saving our environment and protecting natural resources in our schools here in Nauru? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Well, as you know, that I am representing WENA, which is Women Empowering Nauru Association. It is a non-governmental organization, and they would really love for us to gather the community into helping save our environment through providing trainings and programs to women. And also the women, they are the vital part of the homes, and that's where they provide like the greatest influence to their own children. So if we were to change our society, we would also like to start with women. So thank you very much.
Ms. Wena, thank you for your presentation. My question to you is, how can this platform work with government and education to promote the saving of the environment?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
How can this platform work with government and education to promote or implement the saving of the environment?
I believe that this platform of youthful, beautiful young women, they are capable of like attracting or like influencing younger generations. So they are mostly, we are more influential because of our youth and they would like to look up to us. So what programs that we implement or like we plan, we would like to also ask the governments to help us with that because we have a strong powerhouse, as I've mentioned in my essay, that the youth, they can also be a beacon of change. Thank you very much.
Let's give some time for the judges to tally up and then we'll call the next contestant. Let's move on to our next contestant, number 2, Miss Nauru Marine Port Authority, Rosita Rokobuli.
Judges, distinguished guests, and my fellow contestants. Ekamawe Romo, and good morning to you all. My name is Rosita Rokobuli, and I'm proudly sponsored by Nauru Maritime and Ports Authority, co-sponsored by Nauru Shipping Line and Women in Maritime. I stand before you to emphasize the importance of health and its fundamental role in saving our environment. Health encompasses the physical and mental aspect of a person's well-being in the complexity that involves various factors. According to the Nauru Ministry of Health and Medical Services Annual Report of 2022 to 2023, cooperating with the Nauru Non-Communicable Diseases Risk Factor STEPS report of 2015 to 2016, which states that NCDs are the main source of death, illness, and impairments in Nauru. The Director of Public Health stated that more than 70% of people who are hospitalized at the Nauru at Ron Hospital are diagnosed with NCDs. You might wonder, what does this have to do with the environment? Isn't our health closely related to the environment we inhabit? The environment affects our health in many ways, from the quality of air we breathe, to the products we consume, and to our personal lifestyle. Take diabetes for an example. It is one of the most prevalent NCDs that requires hospitalization resulted from the high levels of glucose in the blood, which comes from sugar or carbohydrate consumption. Glucose, a common ingredient in many Nauruan foods and beverages. It is present in the iced coffee that we often consume, the rice that we have regularly, and the processed products such as snacks, cans, and soft drinks that we purchase from the store. As a result, we are at a high risk of developing diabetes. Moderation is the key to conquering diabetes and other NCDs. We need to adopt more moderate lifestyle. We can reduce the risk factors of NCDs by making some changes in our daily habits. I strongly believe that if Nauru as a nation starts improving their daily dietary habits and increase physical activity, Nauru can achieve a better prevention and management of NCDs. A positive trend is emerging among the women and youths of our country, who are increasingly engaging in small projects such as kitchen gardens and flower gardens. These initiatives are not only environmentally friendly on the island, but also contributing to the prevention of NCDs. This is a significant step towards improving the health and well-being of our nation. Gardening is a beneficial activity for physical health, food security, and income generation. It can provide fresh fruits and vegetables that meets the World Health Organization's dietary guidelines for preventing NCDs. Gardening can also support the livelihoods of individuals and households by selling any surplus produce. Promoting more gardening among households is crucial for having a self-reliant resource of produce. Nauru is grateful to the Department of Environment, Management and Agriculture for supporting opportunities in relation to sustainable agricultural practices. Also to the Taiwan Technical Mission for their endless support in providing free compost, fertilizer, seedlings, livestock, and overall training. As Nauruans, we have a proud tradition of living off the sea and sky. We excel at fishing and catching birds, but we struggle with cultivating our land for crops. Gardening is not as easy as it sounds, as we have yet to apprehend the knowledge and care that it requires. Environmental health examines the impact of environmental factors on humans' health and well-being. It seeks to prevent illnesses and promote healthy living. I don't expect you to change your habit and routines overnight, as they are part of who you are. But there are possibilities for you. For you can make small changes that have big benefits. For instance, you can walk to the nearest store instead of riding a vehicle, which helps you exercise and reduce air pollution. Or you can grow and eat your own vegetables, which gives you fresh food and more physical activity. In summary, I want to emphasize this point. Our diet shapes our well-being, and consuming nutritious foods results in good health. Being healthy means having the power and capacity to care for our environment. In return, the environment will provide us with plenty of wholesome food. And that, dear audience, is the wonder of the cycle of life and how health is vital to preserving our environment. Thank you.
The Women Sport Authority, judges,
Thank you for your presentation. Very excellent. I think you've addressed some of the questions I already had, but perhaps you can elaborate how can we spend more time in nature to contribute to the health and well-being of Nauruans, or perhaps the younger generation, really, because our younger generation is very focused on technology, and they're always indoors. On their phones or on the television or on the computer. So how can we perhaps encourage the younger generation to spend more time outdoors, to be more active, to improve, that's linked to our health and their health as well? Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Can I just say, from a personal perspective, I really do link with that question because it's true, the generations have changed. Being a young girl in Nauru, I grew up playing with my friends outside, and then seeing kids nowadays, it's really shocking to see that they're really focused on their technology, and it goes back down to how women empowerment, we women are the drivers of change. And I hate to say it, but we're not pushing our kids enough to go outside. The simple supplies that we can provide our kids, a basketball, a volleyball. These are all expenses, but at a good price. You get good results out of it. Your kids are out playing. I mean, at this point, we hear parents saying, get out of the house, get out of the house. When I was growing up, our parents are calling us back in because we couldn't have enough fun. We went swimming, we went doing all these activities, and that's why it's essential to get them out and about. Because when they're actually in the environment, they see these changes. I see that the beaches are not as beautiful as they are. Kids nowadays don't see that because they're on their phones. So it's really about a community work. We're not putting the blame on men or women that their children are not getting out there. It's a whole community effort. The community should come together, and I feel like we don't even have those community events anymore. We don't have Dodus coming out. We don't have the big families, the big clans, the big tribes having just annual events, monthly events to keep everyone active and connected. So I guess that's the biggest factor with getting people active and getting people out there in the environment, is actually providing events, providing activities that we can actually do. And yeah, I feel like it sounds simple, but with every solution, there needs to be progress, and everyone needs to work together to achieve that. So yes, thank you for that question.
Thank you for that. That was a beautiful presentation, by the way. My question is, looking at with talking about saving our environment and looking at Nauru, what sort of ideas do you think, activities do you think that we can do as a community to start protecting our environment? What little things can we do as a family or as a community that can improve our health, but at the same time work towards protecting our environment?
Thank you. One of the most effective things I've seen the health department do in regards to try and get these community cleanups is, Nauruans are very prideful people. It's a double-edged sword, honestly, but it comes to show where when we're told that something that belongs to us doesn't look good, it looks bad. Neuron's quickly like, oh my gosh, get all the kids, we need to clean that place up. And so I feel like I feel like with this platform as well, with MPIP coming around, these awareness that they've raised saying that, oh, the streets don't look good, the basketball court is always dirty, these raises awareness and that's getting people out there. It's also really triggering for Naurans as well to tell us that you're not keeping your place tidy, you're not keeping the basketball clean, because we own those, we have those outside our houses. So targeting that, I feel like that's the main thing we can do, is targeting Naurans' pride in a positive way, to get them to be active, to get them to move towards a healthy environment. Just saying, why does your backyard look so brown? Next minute, she's out there with all her pot plants. Like, Naurans are that prideful, and it is hilarious because it takes that one sentence to make a woman, to make a man even, clean up his pig's pen. Your pig's pen smells bad, he cleans it up. Or your garden looks a bit brown, she has all these different plants. So it's really about us. That's why I say community is such a big thing that we have to bring back in Nauru, because we tend to be on our own nowadays. We tend to attend to our own things. We see that the neighbors are struggling and we look at them and we're like, well, my garden looks better than hers. We don't tell her, oh, do you need something? Or what are you struggling with? Are you not doing the right thing? Are you not watering your plants right? We tend to look after our own, which is good when it comes to our household, but when it comes to the wider community, it's always good to lend a helping hand to our neighbors. Thank you.
Rosita, Rokobuli. Let's give time for the judges to tally up, and then we'll call the next contestant. Okay, let's move to our next contestant. Contestant number 3, Miss Nauru Rehabilitation, Mylynn Jeremiah. Topic on environment.
The natural surroundings that enable life to thrive, nurture, and destroy our planet called Earth are referred to as environment. The natural environment is vital to the survival of life on Earth, allowing humans, animals, and other living things to thrive and evolve naturally. However, due to the need for resources for development, we have deformed our environment in several ways, such as deforestation, global warming, pollution, acidification, ignorance of keeping our planet safe. Life is only possible if the balance between natural resources is maintained by all of us. It is high time that we people of our home country or island come together and work for the betterment of our surroundings. Environmental problems are rising drastically due to our actions taken for economic growth. Nauru is highly vulnerable to the impact of climate change in a significant risk to our country's ecology and economy, as we are facing so many changes due to stronger and long-lasting droughts, heat wave, coastal erosions, increased acidity of ocean waters, sea level rise, and wind-driven waves and king tides. Our island's main climate change experience is drought, lasting long as 3 years, and this year we are luckily blessed with heavy rains lasting for 2 days. Although problems are rising, it is not too late to take actions and start sustaining our environment. We Nauruans can start taking actions now to better our environment for doing small deeds like not leaving rubbish in public areas. As we all know, this is not something that never happens, but it is done every day. Not only locals, but some foreigners who might come across. This must come to a complete stop because we are not presenting our pleasant island pleasant. We must take care of our island much like an individual taking care of herself or himself. Although plastics is very dangerous to our environment also. Although it is useful, it needs to be minimized because it is damaging our environment, as plastic manufacturing contributes to global warming. Plastics is dangerous because they are made up from chemicals that come from production of planet-warming fuels. All items can be reduced, reused, and replaced in order to save our country's surrounding. The 3 R's principles seek to provide the natural resources for future generations by reducing the use of resources and reusing and recycle. It is as well as reducing pollution by waste minimization. The 3 R's goals have become the only acceptable ways in disposing of waste. What cannot be reduced must be reused, but what cannot be reused must be recycled. Prevention of soil and water contamination can also help us safeguard our environment. Water must be sustained, but by not throwing waste everywhere, as it is toxic to our environment, which will lead to soil contamination, hence it will lead to water contamination. Contamination of water and soil is what leads to damaging our environment and also our health. All these impacts of environment are contribution to climate change and global warming, which will lead to more damage in our environment. Pollution like throwing rubbish or other waste and use of plastic are toxic to our environment. They can contaminate our soil and water, which will endanger our health. All sickness comes from somewhere, and one is that it comes from water and soil contamination. Our health is because of our action. Neglecting of our environment is also a main issue that have a major impact on our environment. We are educated and have learned many ways to sustain and save our environment, but due to our greed, we tend to forget, put aside, or neglect what our action and decision will do to our surroundings. We must come to a realization and stop and think about what will happen when no actions are taken if we do nothing about our environment. First, health. It will affect our health, natural disasters will happen, animal extinction, shortage of water and food, biodiversity loss. And what will happen if we do take action? Less pollution, better health, it could diverse or halt the effects of our global warming. No more landfills. Always remember that everything surrounding us is a part of environment and facility and our extents on the planet. Every action taken must be considered because every decision and action can cause damage to our environment. Start learning and start saving our environment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mali Jeremiah. And judges?
I have a question now. How can Bine youth, the youth of today, address or advocate the issues of money plastic in our environment? What can be done? What can the youths do today?
Well, just yesterday I've learned that plastics are damaging our environment. So I believe awareness, but youths can do better. Like they can help people. They can do awareness and community programs so they can safeguard our environment. Some of us are neglecting it, but we need to come to a realization and save our environment because our island is supposed to be pleasant, but it's not pleasant when we are neglecting it. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, Ms. Nauru Rehabilitation Corporation. My question will build on your response to the previous question, and that was from a youth perspective. My question will be on, as a young person, what do you think government and the industry can do from their end, to save our environment and protect natural resources? So you have identified some activities as a young person that can be done, but now as Miss Rehabilitation, what do you think that government can do now to help address saving the environment? Thank you.
I believe that we islanders respect our elders, but some of us are not doing it so well. So the government, I believe government can help us in realizing the potential of safeguarding our environment, so we can have more tourism coming in and our health, because it really affects our health if we damage our environment. So I believe the Nauru government should do community works with the youths so they can do much better, and together we as one can do better for our pleasant island. Thank you.
And again, let's just give time for judges to tally up the score, and then we'll move on to our next contestants. Goodbye. Okay, let's move on to our next contestant. Our next contestant will be Miss Nauru Tourism Corporation, Treannah Dabwibdo. Please give a round of applause. Miss Tourism. And also our topic is tourism.
Mojaran yakimi memak. Angakar Treannah Dabwibdo ngawami Miss Nauru Tourism 2023. Today, wanga topic is tourism. I will be discussing 3 main points with you today, and they are the benefits, the challenges, and the future of Nauru tourism. You and I both know that a life without the elements of fun is a boring one. Nauru tourism today, that is under new management, brings excitement and interests with the strategy of utilizing the community, especially the youth, to become tour guides. Inbound tour guide cooperator Sindrea Denuga states that youth are essential in the development of tourism, and rightfully so. There are free tour guide sessions every Saturday 2 p.m. and tourism encourages all people 17 and up to partake in this side hustle. This initiative sets the foundation for the individual by reviving our culture and identity. It serves as a form of fitness. It educates our locals to protect the natural heritage sites, while also bringing in revenue for Nauru. In 2022 and early 2023, the number of tourists averaged at 5 to 6 tourists a month. These numbers were drastically low for our economy because of visa challenges. However, since working with the Immigration Department, Nauru Tourism has now partaken in the role to do the processing of the application visas. And as you can see, the numbers has now skyrocketed to over 100 tourists in this year alone, with June bringing in 48. With the right mindset and support, tourism can be a breadwinner for a country's revenue. For example, in tourism in Australia, tourists brought in $34.4 million. At the moment though, Nauru Tourism is aiming to bring in 50 tourists a month, and that is estimated to bring in $1.74 million with that target alone. And now we move on to the challenges. I asked the tour guides themselves, and Washington Dogowape said that he is deeply saddened that all the hiking trails are surrounded by litter. I myself also went on a hike recently, and as fun as it was, I could not ignore the large amounts of rubbish that overtook and dominated the green lush scenery we have. Environmentally speaking, excessive consumerism is the main reason that we are facing these issues. That alone affects the natural environment that Nauru once had, and it causes pollution and waste problems. Over the years, there have been many cases of people going on tours and hikes, and they graffiti the caves and the bunkers that are all a part of the richness of our history and culture, because they do not understand nor do they appreciate the value it has. As I learned from our recent visit to Dima, these issues all stem back to behavioral issues. But fret not, for there is still hope and a future for us all and Nauru tourism. Ecotourism and sustainable tourism are the 2 main things that the current CEO, Jem Dawajiko, is focusing on. We hope to start planting more trees and more plants now, so once they grow and bloom, they become the natural resources for the future generation to enjoy and share with our families and tourists to come. Their free tour guide training is also another example of preserving the culture, so that young tour guides like Lara Dogowape will value her understanding of our culture, and teach the future generations. In summary, Nauru's tourism growth has positively impacted our country's revenue. It greatly assists in the revival of our diminishing culture. However, environmental challenges start with a shift in behavior. We need to find the right balance for tourism so that Nauru benefits economically and we also grow our culture. All in all, tourism is in safe hands with the team that lays the foundation for the future. Greatness can only be achieved when we all work together. I would also like to encourage whoever is crowned as the Miss Nauru to continue to work with Nauru Tourism to promote our culture, not just to Micronesia, but for the whole world. Thank you for listening. Matuba, may my God bless. Any questions?
Treannah, Dabwibdo, judges.
Thank you for your presentation, Ms. Nauru Tourism. Okay, just one question from us. In regards to, you touched on ecotourism. What is one project you think that this platform can get behind to drive ecotourism on Nauru?
Thank you for the question. Currently, the tourism company really wants to focus on ecotourism, and I believe with this platform, whoever is crowned as Miss Nauru, along with the pageant sisters, should become the role models for not just the young generation, but also everyone. And once you start implementing programs like planting trees for preservation of our culture, and you go around communities to really sit down with people and understand them, and have a really respectable approach towards it, by word of mouth and spreading the awareness, you can start the project by even just doing simple hikes. Because I know my team in tourism, they do free hikes for the Nauruans because they believe they should not sell their culture to the Nauruans. It is our culture. We do not need to buy our culture. So the Nauruans are free to learn their culture with the Nauru tourism industry. And along the way, I was hoping to also pick up rubbish along the hikes, as well as planting the trees. But upon learning some facts about the trees and plants, we don't really have much left. We don't have much resources, which is unfortunate. So I think that is the role of tourism and DEMA and the government to collaborate so we can find and preserve the trees that are still left so we can grow them and farm them. And that's my answer for your question. Anything else?
The one presentation, Treannah. I believe Nauru has a lot to offer that's unique in terms of tourism. So I wanted to get your thoughts on what are some of the priority areas that we need to focus on in terms of developing tourism in Nauru, and that's worth protecting the environment.
Okay.
That all question?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that we need to focus and protect? Because you mentioned heritage sites. So I wanted to get your thoughts on what are some of the things that we need to focus on the way environments, protecting environments, that'll help develop tourism in Nauru, because I believe we've got a lot to offer in terms of what our uniqueness.
I believe, well, the first thing that came up to mind is our ocean. So the fisheries are currently planning to start a clam farming inland to preserve the clams in the sea. And another thing that came to mind is, again, planting the trees. And, sorry, can you repeat the question? Environmentally, saving a culture.
What are some of the things that we need to focus on the water environment that we need to protect or better manage? Then it can play a critical part in developing our tourism.
Okay. Maybe the main thing is protecting the natural heritage sites like the Mokwe. There's so many graffitis. Even when we did our tours in the bunkers, in the Japanese bunkers, so many graffitis. But there is also a tourism act. But unfortunately, the law maybe is not really enforcing it. And so we need to work with the police as well and locals to spread awareness, because that's our heritage sites. Why are we defacing them? And so that also comes down to awareness within the community. If they know that they can be legally charged for graffitiing our sacred sites, then that can maybe stop or lessen the defecation of the sites. Yeah. Anything else? That's all. Matawa, God bless.
Carrie. Dabwibdo, Treannah, Dabwibdo. Let's give time for judges once again. Then we'll move on to our next contestants. Dabwibdo. Okay, let us move on to our next contestant. Our next contestant will be Ms. Nauru Airlines Corporation, Chantelle Cain, and a topic on women empowerment. Woo!
Good afternoon, esteemed panel of judges, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chantelle Cain, and I am your contestant number 5. It is my pleasure and indeed an honor to be representing Nauru Airlines, the airline of the Central Pacific. I am so grateful for this opportunity to speak about a topic that holds such great importance in today's society: women empowerment. What is women empowerment and why does it matter? The what? Women empowerment is promoting women's sense of self-worth, having the ability to make their own choices, and their rights to influence social change for themselves and for others. To me, this statement provides encouragement for women to be decision makers, role models, and knowing their self-worth within our society. It enables women to be treated and seen as equals. Women empowerment is also about empowering other women, being her friend, standing by her side, supporting her, respecting her and encouraging her for who she is and what she values as an individual. Why? It is important for women to encourage and support each other. But first, you need to build your own sense of self-worth before you can help others. We should embrace and celebrate our accomplishments together. The collective strength of determined women is an intriguing and powerful asset in our society. When women unite and work together, powerful ideas become realities, boundaries are challenged, creating a better and balanced community. This will also encourage women to be mentors to other women and leaders within the society in general. If one recognizes her own value, she would be more capable to accept and recognize the value of other women. It is essential for women to support and encourage one another in the workplace, community, politics, and society. Women need to build a network that appreciate and respect each other's differences, values, and beliefs through collective efforts from different stakeholders, such as women in church, women in the community, women in politics, women at home, for a stronger and more accepting society. There is a need to move away from negativity when we feel threatened by other women because of her success, role, beauty, or appearance. We as women tend to discriminate or judge other women by her skin color, her appearance, her beliefs, and her confidence. Instead, we should praise, support, encourage, appreciate, and respect our self-worth. Today I stand before you in recognizing the accomplishments and achievements of many women of Nauru, past and present, who have reached the highest levels in their professions, such as the parliamentarians, the heads of the department, diplomats, senior officials, community leaders, church leaders, and our elite sportswomen. We in Nauru are more fortunate than most countries where women have the opportunities to excel, and it is upon us to continue this trend. In a small and humble way, Miss Nauru Eita Dabug is a platform that empowers young women to learn about themselves and to engage with others. Having said all that, I would like to leave you with a quote from Mary Wollstonecraft, who once said, "I do not wish women to have power over men, but over themselves." This is a message I'd like to bestow upon the lovely ladies of Nauru. To conclude, I am sure you will all agree with me that women's lives matters. Thank you.
Chantelle, Cain, judges.
Bonjour, Chantelle. Well done, that was a beautiful presentation. I've got one question for you. You've spoken a lot about how we can empower each other, support other women. I'd like, I suppose my question would be, what are some examples that you can think of women-led projects or organisations that have positively impacted our environment?
The first thing that came to my mind was the WASDA department. We help each other and we feel more comfortable going to them because they prioritize our well-being. And so I believe that bringing women together, we can we are strong as individuals, but imagine if we all work together, we would become stronger and inspire others and inspire our younger generation and motivate them to be the same. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. What activities can you do to empower young girls to advocate the need for everyone to save our environment? So, if you want me to repeat.
Yes, please.
So in terms of women empowerment, but with a focus specifically on young girls, what activities can you do as, as a young Nauruan lady to empower young girls to advocate the need for everyone to save our environment? So just taking you back in terms of women empowerment, but with a focus on that.
Thank you. Building networks or bringing the community together or advocating for programs that require, that include women. I'll bring it from a personal perspective, and that is because I have a passion for music as well, but I see the creativity that we Nauruans carry in general, and I would like to focus more on that because we can use that to build confidence within ourselves and to hold strength and to support each other and inspire each other and uplift each other, and we can use that to as a form of storytelling to support, as a form of storytelling to address important issues that we are facing. Thank you.
Thank you, Chantelle. Let's give time for our judges to tally up, and then we'll go on to our next contestant.
Sheko. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges, distinguished guests, and fellow beautiful contestants. Today, I stand before you to discuss a topic of utmost importance, one that transcends boundaries and affects us all. The profound connection between culture and the environment. Culture, often defined as a way of life of a particular group of people, encompasses their beliefs, values, customs, and traditions. It is this very culture that can play a pivotal role in protecting our environment by imparting the significance of conservation and encouraging sustainable living. Culture at its core is a reflection of our collective identity. It embodies the wisdom of our ancestors and the essence of who we are as a community. Through the tapestry of culture, we weave a narrative of our shared history, values, and beliefs. It is in this tapestry that we discover the potential to safeguard our environment or generations to come. Culture has the power to inspire us to live in harmony with our surroundings. It teaches us that the land we inhabit is an inexhaustible resource, but a precious gift that we must cherish and protect. Our customs and traditions often guide us towards sustainable practices, whether it's the use of resources, the protection of sacred natural sites, or the celebration of eco-friendly festivals. Moreover, culture can act as a catalyst for change, motivating us to adapt sustainable living practices. When our customs and values prioritize environmental protection, we can likely to embrace green technologies, reduce our carbon footprint, and advocate for policies that safeguard our natural resources. That believes our actions today will impact the world for our descendants tomorrow becomes ingrained in our collective consciousness. In many cultures, the concept of 7 generations is guiding principle. The philosophy dictates that we should make decisions considering the consequences for our descendants, considering 7 generations into the future. It reminds us that we are not just stewards of the land today, but trustees of the environment for the unborn. As we stand at the precipice of environmental challenges such as climate change, deforestation, and biodiversity loss, it is imperative that we harness the power of culture to address these pressing issues. By embracing our cultural heritage, we can cultivate a deep reverence for the environment and promote responsible stewardship. In closing, let us remember that culture is not a static entity, it evolves with time. As we adapt to the challenge of the modern world, let us ensure that our cultural values continue to emphasize the importance of environmental conservation by intertwining culture with conservation not only enriches our heritage but also safeguards the precious planet we call home. Thank you for your attention.
The Nefraunze Teabuge judges.
Thank you, Ms. Menen. One question, rich government with their culture. We have a very rich cultural knowledge and their practices that hasn't been used today to preserve the environment. Right now, our question is, again, what can we do? What can the youths do to be able to bring back these practices for, as you say, for the future generation?
As a Nauruan woman, my culture is my responsibilities to pass it on to future generations. Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Mana ko kan simplify ni mo bede ro nero. I tell you nero which ka pa culture and go you know question awe Miss Menen. Can you what I did what the one money what their beliefs and money values in terms of improving to the environment okay. Can you what I did? Kaya wala hindi nga po eh.
Nagkakaroon na tig-jikon.
When Nanama, ni gen hara tone ka question. Dengan abakar whatever responsibility. But now one question, when thinking about our theme with the environment, saving our environment, our achievement of our culture, our Nauruan culture, again even at the money of our Nauruan culture, what are some examples of Nauruan culture that can promote activities or practices that can save our environment? I'm not thinking about our Nauruan culture. Okay, we now repeat it, I'll get to it hard, So, yeah. Thinking about Nauruan cultures, what practices we do, work towards helping us protect our environment. For example, culture. So can you think of something else?
I'm gonna put many youth encourage random Mengenai patai mini youth, encourage ram Teabuge yang hati mindra example menam banana trees dan kakamai apple.
The band Nefraunze Teabuge, and the Gojen can identify what the judges. I'm sorry. Let's just give time for our judges to tally up, and then we'll go on to our next contestants.
on to the last but not the least. May I call upon Miss Nauru Utilities, Myisha Tatum, a topic on community. She'll be standing this side so that she can communicate with the chaperone fashionista consultant.
Moshepko, good afternoon to you all. My name is Myisha Tatum, and I'm proud to represent my sponsor, NUC, Nauru Utility Corporation for 2023. Today I'll be presenting on the topic saving our environment within our community. In terms of NUC's operation for renewable energy and its benefits to save the environment for the Nauruan community. What is renewable energy? Renewable energy is extracting energy from natural resources, for example, wind and the sun. There are various types of renewable energy, but today I will share with you one type that is commonly available on Nauru, that is solar energy. What is solar energy? Solar energy is generated by capturing sunlight and converting it into electricity using photovoltaic, also known as solar panels. Some benefits of solar energy are reduced greenhouse gas emissions, mitigating climate change, enhancing energy security, and promoting sustainable development. Solar energy further offers a reliable and sustainable alternative to fossil fuels and help to diversify the energy mix, leading to a more resilient and environmentally friendly energy system. Currently, the Nauru Utility Corporation contributes to saving our environment through renewable energy. NUC operates 1 20 kilowatts rooftop and 2 ground-mounted solar installations. Those are with capacity of 500 kilowatts and the other with 1,100 kilowatts. The total capacity for these 3 sites is 1.620 kilowatts, or megawatts, sorry. However, the total solar capacity for the island of Nauru is 3.2 megawatts. This solar installation contributes to carbon dioxide emission reduction. This is realized through the less of use of diesel generators during a good sunny day. Currently, the government of Nauru and NUC is overseeing the construction of 6 megawatt solar installation. Adding these 6 megawatts to our existing 3.2 megawatts will bring the total renewable energy capacity for Nauru to 9.2 megawatts. The total renewable energy contribution to the NUC grid now is at 10%. However, Nauru's Sustainable Development Strategy proposed target of renewable energy for NUC to achieve in 2025 is 50% solar energy contribution to the network grid. To further explain network grid, it is the main power line around the main distribution power line that goes around the island and meets at the power station that provides power to the community. NUC expects to save at least 4,000 monthly on fuel costs once the 6 megawatt solar is completed. Realizing these savings on fossil fuel will also mean lesser carbon dioxide emissions to the atmosphere. Meeting the target through this project will support our environments from the oil disposal and reduction of our reliance on fossil fuel as source of energy. In conclusion, Nauru Utility Corporation's contribution to saving our environment through renewable energy benefits the community by reducing carbon dioxide emission and less fossil fuel consumption. Matawa.
Dewa Myisha Tatum. Judges.
Thank you for your presentation, Myisha. You gave us a very comprehensive presentation on what utilities is doing here. But now let's focus on the community environment. So how can the government and the community work together to create policies that are more environmentally friendly? You've highlighted that's one area, energy. So what else can the government and the community do and develop policies that are more environmentally friendly, because there are some policies that are not so much environmentally friendly. So how can we work together closer with the community, the government and the community? How can the government and the community work together to create policies that are more environmentally friendly?
Environment. Community and government.
Community and government.
When Jangapan and at them at the community and Guanakar Osha mina guadaken manata what that sorry got at the group day.
When our governments are developing policies in order now whenever they involve a community. So in a community, first users of the environment, at community. So I'm trying to simplify this question. So wana bugur airport me community wana develop policies and some policies whenever they develop without taking consideration of environment issues. So how wana bugur airport wana develop more policies or reviewing existing policies in the more environmentally friendly. Sometimes link away, there's a gap in between. That's strengthening the limit.
When community may government the manara work together nam creating new policies. I'm gonna mana community programs ang poda mo gang share with the ideas jomana ta kamara ron chimudu policies ang tenga tadagana yona kartura karyan warabina government ta jibo government yona kartura yan wara ideas mer jibo utuina ton ranam share me aja moya bed jo moya bed mana community me yeah, jo mana community meetings mean when I share what ideas mo I'm gonna go back here and banana bina government the back.
Thank you very much for your presentation. My question stems from your presentation. You had referred to NUC having a target of 50% solar energy consumption network grid. My question is that what can you do as Miss NUC to help NUC spread the awareness of such in the community? What kind of activities can you do to represent your organization, spread that particular goal and awareness to your community?
Yes, please.
Okay. What can you do to promote the use of solar energy at the community level, amongst your friends, amongst your families? That's probably another way of putting it.
Well, we can, the main one is spreading awareness or using social media to spread awareness on how important solar system is, because we need to save the environment. And yes, that's it.
Thank you.
And that's the last of our contestants. Can we give them all a round of applause once again? It's very hard to stand here looking at everyone staring at you. Yeah. So then let's go on to our next program, but at the moment we'll just wait for the judges to tally up their scores. And then we'll go to the second main event, the food. Okay, before we jump to the food, on behalf of the Miss Nauru Organizing Committee, we would like to acknowledge all our sponsors. As you can see, we have Digicel, also we have the Taiwan Embassy, WASDA, and all the co-sponsors for the pageant. There's heaps of them, but I'll leave it to the main event. I'm hungry. So let us move on to the next program, the food. May I bless the food so that it digests well in your system before you leave. Okay, let us bow our head. Oh God, it's the maroon. Man, come on, and bless it in his easy and economy and a woman to name a day. Man, come on, and call it that to make the limiting a meme, maybe I make the name. Bless it, come me, and make the name pension. Man, honey, man, come on, wisdom, make glory, and a name. Yes, Christo, yeah, one man in Katimor. Magi, me call the key. Amen. Okay, so let us call the ladies to lead us with the food, and then the rest of us can take away. Mawat ka, kita ngomong. Nah, biar mana terus? My apologies, Miss Nauru Contestant. Can you not shove your face with the food now? Like a group photo first before you feed yourselves.
Shame ami dada, o goda neme, turum yodogi. Happy birthday, my dearest girl. Mono ayu yenuwa, mating tingi kewanga, tingi do we be baggy. O shame ami dada, wengan beria. Happy birthday, my dearest girl. Mono ayu yenuwa, mating tingi kewanga, tingi do we be baggy. O shame ami dada, o goda neme, turum yodogi. Happy birthday, my dearest girl. Mono ayu yenuwa, mating tingi kewanga, tingi do we be baggy. O shame ami dada, wengan beria.
Ariana. Well, I know this is so spiritual. Good boy.
Hello. If the Miss Nauru contestants are done with the food, and then we'll move on to the judges. Timnata category. Then we'll move on to the judges and our visitors, overseas visitors. And then the rest, this side. Then the rest, everyone can dig up. So can I call upon the judges to come and take their share? So the judges and our overseas visitors, Juliana, your table.
got the cake?
Coming to the end of the event, we'll be closing off soon. And it doesn't mean you can stop eating. Just keep eating, please. Before we end this program for today, let me acknowledge again our sponsors, Digicel, WASDA, Taiwan Embassy, and also let us thank these beautiful people here on the side, our live streamers from Sydney, and our two beautiful MPIP secretariats. And thank you all for joining us and witnessing this beautiful interview. Hope to see you guys again, and reminder to all the contestants, church service tomorrow at 10. Oro Church, sorry. Naiwo. So it's at 10, so we'll see you again tomorrow morning. So make sure you sleep early. Put cucumber on your faces. Yeah, I think I'll need one whole cucumber for me. And I think that's it. So can I just close us with a prayer? It's okay, just keep doing, but just hold a bit while I close us with a prayer, please. Yeah? Okay, let's bow our heads. Oh God, itinga meron, metsaga maya maneka mangagi, mekangawana mepo epo beriam me memjima tuna mepo yat tuna mekraman, kangawana blessing ingi me koreda mek terere, ojera energy me wara confidence. Mangane mekangan yanegan game, amiakar Yesu Kristo ya memin gachimor, eko dogin ngage miotaki. Amen.